Hello, and welcome to Know Before You Go for the 21st Sunday in Ordinary Time. I'm Father Scott Steinkerchner, and I'm here. You see it panning around our new studio. It's not really put together yet, but we'll get there. I'll be interested to hear from you maybe in the comments about what might we do to decorate it. But today we'll just be in front of our soundproofing wall here. And let's get on with it. The readings are quite interesting because they're building on one another. We have an odd reading from Isaiah to start out with. Poor old Shebna. Shebna is the master of the palace, second in command. He's got the keys. But Isaiah is angry at him, and he says God is angry at him. And he's going to take away his position and give it to Eliakim. Why? Well, seems one of the things Shebna did was built himself a big old mausoleum instead of being buried in the family plot. And maybe he's aggrandizing himself too much, and maybe even as much as the king, because it's really bad if you're working for somebody and you look better than them. Putting on airs, they say. So in Isaiah saying, I'm going to take everything, God is going to take everything from you and give it to Eliakim, and he's going to have the keys. And what he binds will stay bound, and what he unbinds will stay unbound. And that's a phrase that's going to get carried over into the gospel. Because we have the famous gospel about Peter getting the keys to the kingdom of heaven. And of course, it starts with Jesus saying, who do people say that I am? Oh, John the Baptist, Elijah, who do you say that I am? Peter says, you are the Christ, the Son of God. And Jesus says, blessed are you, Peter, because no mere mortal revealed this to you. So you are Peter, Rocky. Remember, his name is really Simon, but Jesus gives him the name Peter, Petrus, Rocky. And on this rock, I will build my church, and the gates of the netherworld will not prevail against it. So the church is built on that confession of faith by Peter, that you are the Christ, the Son of God. But of course, Peter's faith isn't the complete faith that we have today. It's just a fragment, but it's true. And as long as you're building on truth, then you can keep building. Anyway, the church today is keep building on that faith of Peter. But then it says, the gates of the netherworld will not prevail against the church. Well, the netherworld is where people go when they die, and had gates so that people, when they were dead, they stayed dead. People can't come back to life because those gates are locked. So I think this has something to do with the church doesn't have to fear death anymore, because death can't hold anyone. Right? This is what we're going to find out in the resurrection. But then it says, I will give you the keys to heaven. Oh, what are the keys to heaven? Heaven must have gates too. And then he says, and what you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and what you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. That power that Shebna had that was taken from him is now given in a big way to Peter. Of course, if you think about it, what does it mean for things to be bound and loosed in heaven? Because if you got to heaven, you're in heaven. We usually think about this as letting people into heaven or not, but no, things are bound and loosed in heaven. So it's kind of obscure. But certainly, these passages are all about Jesus starting to build on the faith of Peter, and then other people will join in. And today we live in that edifice where we don't have to worry about death. Jesus has overcome that. And there's death, and then there's heaven. And we're not stuck in between either, because Peter has the keys to the kingdom of heaven. So that's where we're bound. So these are the progressions here. In the middle reading, goes back to the Shebna thing. In the middle reading, Paul talks about who was God's counselor. Nobody. Nobody knows anything but God. He didn't consult with anybody. So again, Peter, unlike Shebna, is not trying to shine better than Jesus. He's just trying to follow. That's what we all need to do. God is the real star. Jesus is the real star. And all of us need to follow. So that's it for today. I'll be interested to see what you think. Pray for us as we put this studio together. It needs some work. But it'll be nice to have a place to record these for you. So God bless you.